Today is a very special episode here on Hubtel podcast because we are shining the light on women in tech. The women driving innovation, skill, and real impact across Africa. And we are very honored to have one of them here with us today. Our guest here today is Marjorie, a global digital transformation and market expansion strategist with over 20 years of experience across Africa, Europe, and North America. Currently, she's the founder and CEO of Yare Consultancy Group and Fanga. Previously, she also held senior leadership roles at Uber and Orange, where she drove growth, profitability, and inclusion across some of the most complex markets of the world. Beyond her executive roles, Marjorie is also a member of Hubtel's advisory board, where she brings deep expertise in fintech, cross-border expansion, and digital strategy to help shape Hubtel's next phase of growth. Marjorie, you are very welcome to our podcast today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you too. So to start it off, we like to, do some little warm-up exercises and everything. So how would you explain what you do today to anyone in a very simple sentence?
I guess I would just say that I advise digital or tech companies and financial services companies in Africa to build products and make their clients' life easier. And today I'm also building my own.
Wow, that's
to
impressive.
do the exact same thing and was focusing mostly on payments, mobility and access to opportunities.
Wow, that's very, very impressive. And thinking about what was the first moment in your career when you realized your decisions are really affecting a lot of people since you became a leader?
I think leadership, at least when you're not in position of leadership, you might think it's about metrics.
Yeah.
And it really came to me to understand that it's really about how you shift livelihoods in people's lives. And that translated particularly, I remember I was in Haiti where we were fighting to build our head office, and we fought it to be anti-seismic. And it was a very challenging period.
Yeah.
But luckily we did that because 2 years after that there was
The earthquake.
the earthquake, and there was 800 people in that building, and that's 800 lives that was saved.
Wow.
And for me, that completely redefined what leadership is all about.
Wow.
So it wasn't about saving cost and meeting necessarily the CapEx budget, but it was about saving lives.
I don't know what would have happened if your thoughts and everything was not supported at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a collective effort, right? And I think that's what leadership is also about. It's about driving and influencing people to align with your beliefs, right? So it was a collective effort.
Yeah. And now that you've mentioned it, which problem is harder to solve in tech or in the fintech space? Reliability or trust, and why?
I think trust is the most important thing to solve for.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily. I mean, reliability is important, and I want to say you don't necessarily need to build brand love, but you need to build trust. And I think if there's trust, it's because you're reliable, right?
Yeah.
And that's scalable.
Yeah, that's very true. And so we like to also play a quick this or that. This is really fast off the bat. Do you like being liked or being trusted?
Trusted, again, for me, that's scalability.
A lot of people like being liked. Yeah.
No, trust me fast.
Yeah. Proven playbooks or bold experiments?
Bold experiments, for sure. Like, I think global playbooks don't necessarily scale and work, at least in our markets. And I think we need to build and experiment what we have.
Local nuance or global consistency?
Local nuance. Local nuance. Again, I'm a huge fan of sociology.
Yeah.
And I think things that can be consistent everywhere else because of how we are culturally are just not consistent here.
That's true. Seats at the table, or you like to build a new one?
I'll build my own table any given day. And I just think that real inclusion isn't about access. It's about reshaping how decisions are really being made and just reshaping the foundation. So building a new one is better.
A lot of people just want to sit there and then they are comfortable.
I'll just build one to fit me.
Wow. And that's even evident because now you are starting your own as well.
Yes,
That's
yes,
very
yes,
impressive.
yes, yes.
That's very
Yes.
impressive. And so let's talk about your journey, leadership, and tech in general. You've built a career across telecom, mobility, fintech, you name it. How did your career evolve across all these different parts of the tech ecosystem?
So I guess you would think that it's, it's not linear, and it's very true, but
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. I think telecom has taught me infrastructure and scale. Mobility has taught me unit economics and daily usage. Fintech has taught me regulation and trust. And board experience has taught me strategy and long-term risk. And today I'm just able to connect all these dots and continue to have impact.
That's very good. Off the bat, what's one leadership lesson you've learned the hard way while scaling businesses in these complex markets?
I think scalability is sustainable when there's alignment. Alignment between what customers want, what regulators want, what partners want, what employees want. And we often take that for granted, and it weakens the foundation of the scalability. So and that was a tough lesson, but it was one that I've embraced today. And I search more for alignment before looking to scale. And I think once you find that right, we talk about product market fit, which is an alignment between the product and the market, and understanding the gaps in regulation so that you can build and innovate. So finding that full alignment is what I search for on a daily basis.
Very, very impressive. I don't know, but a lot of things here. So let's talk about women now, because you are women. You're a woman in tech,
Yes.
and a lot of us are looking up to you.
Yes.
You've been very intentional about inclusion. From your experience, what are the challenges and opportunities for women in the tech space?
Well, it's such a broad question. So maybe what I'll do is kind of refocus it. I think we've talked a lot about representation.
Yeah.
And having X number of women for X number of men in the real space. And I think, when I look at numbers across the continent, it's not magnificent, but we've done quite a bit, like a lot of progress.
Yeah.
I think the real, the next layer or the next enabler for women, it's for women to have access to risk. And when I talk about risk, it's about having access to capital, having access to decision-making power, having access to those rooms so that you can fail.
Yeah.
I think that we as women, there's not enough safety nets where it's allowed for men to fail. It's allowed for men to make those decisions, maybe the wrong ones, but we're not given access to those risks so that we can stretch ourselves. I think women are building critical solutions, and now they're just waiting for the patient capital. They're just waiting for just the opportunity. Well, yes, to fail, because failure is the first step to success.
And do you think it's a global problem or just an African problem?
No, I think it's a global issue. I really think it's a global issue. I think that the context may vary from one continent to the other, but at the end, once you start, deep diving and finding the root causes, it remains the same. It's just having access to the risk.
Yeah.
you know.
Spot on. Financial inclusion now.
Favorite topic.
From what you've seen on the ground, what does it look like when it's actually working well for everyday people?
It's super boring.
Really?
It's super boring because payments are reliable, because cash flow is predictable, because tech becomes a background story, and it choices are simple, and dignity is in light and whatnot. So when it works, it's just really boring because nothing happens. It's just fluid.
Yeah. But it's a good thing though.
It's an amazing thing. And this is where you want to, like, it's a subject today because there's roadblocks, because it's not smooth, because the experience is challenging. And this is, what I'm saying is like the day where we've actually treated inclusion, it will then become very, very boring.
That's true. That's true.
Everything will be predictable.
Yeah.
Everybody will have access.
5-10
Everybody
years
will
to
have
time,
choice.
yeah.
Like, So
That's true.
yes, it'll be boring.
That's true. Really didn't think about it that way, but yes. You are also now part of Hubtel's advisory
Super
board.
excited.
Very excited about that. From that perspective, what excites you the most about Hubtel's role in Africa's digital future?
Oh my God. I think Hubtel has gotten certain things really right. Hubtel is building real infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right? And infrastructure for tomorrow. And I think what's the element that distinguishes Hubtel from others is that local nuance that we spoke about earlier. And the combination of solid infrastructure for tomorrow and local nuance is super powerful in the world in which we're living. So that's what excites me the most.
That's amazing. We are so glad to have you on board as well. Let's zoom out a bit into the world view and what's next. What's happening in the fintech or the broader tech space right now that you think people should be paying more attention to?
My favorite subject, which is interoperability.
Wow, that's huge.
and infrastructure in some ways, because I think we're no longer going to be speaking about one app, but we're going to be speaking about ecosystems.
Yeah.
And we ought to build a world where you can navigate between services and ecosystems with one unified infrastructure across use cases, across borders, and across like sectors. And I think that's what's going to be exciting for the next 10 years, is to see those different ecosystems connecting through strong infrastructure.
And do you think Africa would get there soon enough?
For me, I think we might even be leading ones, right? Like in that, because we have to, right?
Yeah.
In that leading interoperability, at least we have the opportunity to. So it's a matter of us as tech leaders, as engineers, as strategists, as product developers, to look outside of the scope of one app and start looking at building communities and ecosystems that are relying on a unified infrastructure.
Yeah. And since we're in the tech space, what's one trend that is exciting about the tech space?
I think the platform models, because it's the first step to what I was just speaking about, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a huge enabler, particularly for SMEs, which is the heart of our economies and the heart of our communities. And it will allow them to grow and to build and grow sustainably. So I think that's super exciting. And I think we ought, as shapers of the tech space, to really embrace that. But it also means that there are some worries around that narrative, right? Because if policies don't go as quickly as innovation, then it might hinder or narrow the growth possibilities.
Yeah.
And so we ought to embrace in our narrative the place of governance and the place of policies, so that we can build that environment that allows platforms to hit their full potentials, right?
Yeah.
And allow for interoperability, to be honest, in the end.
Yeah. And also, we are about to wrap up. This has been very interesting so far. But as we wrap up, what advice would you give to a woman navigating a career in the tech space today?
Oh man, build competence.
Yeah.
Like, never stop learning and building, like, competence relentlessly. And I think confidence is driven by competence.
That's true.
So the more you build yourself, both from like hardcore competencies and soft competencies, the more you build confidence, and the more you're able to walk into those rooms where you need to be.
But we want to know you a bit. So outside of work, what's one thing you enjoy doing that helps you just switch off?
Yes, I love listening to music. I do. I think that's step one. I think step two is just spending time with my kids and my friends. I'm just not making decisions. I think just like unplugging the decision-making process. I love to be carried. So, yeah. At the end of the day, that's what I want to do. Listen to music, talk to my friends and kids, and don't make any decisions. Don't ask me what we're eating. Tell me what I'm eating.
Finally, what gives you the most hope about the future of technology in Africa as a whole?
I think it's exactly what I'm saying here. It's just like we're finally taking our future into our own hands.
Yeah.
We're finally starting to build products and services for us. We're finally leveraging tech to enable these products and services. So let's just accelerate that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Any last words? Because it's a women in tech episode. So any last words to women out there, or just generally everybody?
There's a French expression that says "il faut oser," and it's I'm just trying to translate this in English. It just means just try, just step into that room, just learn that new thing. Instead of thinking about something, just say it. Just reach for the next stretch. Stop questioning whether you should or not. The time that you take to question it is the time that you're not taking to do it.
That's
so
exactly
just do
right.
it.
Yeah, just do it. Marjorie is telling us, just do it.
Just do it.
Marjorie, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having me.
Insights and everything. We are so grateful. And thank you so much for listening to this very special episode of Hubtel Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll catch you on with the next one. Bye.